All right, fig lovers, boy, do I have a great video for you guys today. Because today I'm gonna bring you guys through the entire step of the way of training and pruning container fig trees. We're gonna show you guys examples of trees that are small like these from the very beginning and how to get them the quickest way possible to their final form. So let's start from the beginning. This is a newly repotted fig tree that was rooted just about 3 months ago. We took a cutting, placed it into a 1 gallon size pot, fully rooted it out into that size, got the tree nice and healthy, strong growth, larger leaves. Once we fulfill those requirements, we then can repot it. It takes about, from this point here to get to this, maybe about 4 weeks. Now you can see on this tree, we actually have fruit development. These are small pea-sized figs, and they probably will ripen in about 90 days from the time you see them at that stage of development. The problem is we want our young fig trees to grow. I would recommend removing all of them, but just a couple, just to appropriately ID your fig variety. So once we see leaves on our fig trees that are about the size of my hand or larger, I'm then going to remove the apical bud. And you can see I've already done that here on this tree. I'll show you how to remove that in just a moment. So now we're looking at the third tree, and the third tree actually is a result 4 weeks later after pinching. So we went from this little guy here to now something like this. And the idea is once we remove this apical bud is that we then have new scaffolds form. Just some tree terminology for you. You have a main trunk, and then from that trunk forms what are called scaffolds. Then from these scaffolds, you then get something called laterals or fruiting branches. So once we remove the tip, we're then changing the hormones. We are removing the auxin, which is suppressing any of the scaffolds from forming. We'll follow this all the way up until the point in which I pinched it. And now we have 1, 2, and 3 new scaffolds. So the next step after your scaffolds are long enough is to stake them away from each other. We then can remove their apical buds. This can either happen during the first growing season if you have a tree like this one, or you can do this during the winter. And so we can, during the active growing season, instead of using pruning shears, we can just pinch off the apical bud like so. So as promised, that's how the technique is performed. All right, so now we've reached our final form. We have a main trunk that starts down there at the soil. You can have multiple trunks. That's up to you. You can still do the same process. So from this main trunk, we then formed scaffolds. And you can see from these scaffolds, we then are forming the new growth of the growing season, which are the fruiting branches and laterals. From here, it's just about maintaining your fruiting branches. The base structure of your tree is sound. We have a wide canopy. The scaffolds are on an angle. The only thing left to do to continue great annual production of your fig tree is to shorten the fruiting branches by about 50% every year. So this lateral or fruiting branch is quite long in length. This winter time, I'm going to bring this back to about here, which is about 50% of the growth from this season will be removed. So the reason we bring back the fruiting branches every year is to rejuvenate your fig tree. I have found over the years that actually by doing lots of heading cuts, shortening the branches by 50 to 75%, we can keep our fig trees productive in containers for a long time. And in actuality, a lot of times that we think we might need root pruning, you're actually better off just shortening these branches on an annual basis, or I can come in here, relieve some congestion in the canopy if there is some, by removing fruiting branches entirely with our pruning shears. Now, everyone has their own little way of pruning and training fig trees, but I have really found that this is the absolute fastest way to get your fig tree to this final form. Thanks for watching here, guys. Please do me a favor, hit the like button for me and hit the subscribe button for me. Catch you for the next video. Take care.